back to my channel. I'm Emerald the Quilter, and today I have a special guest. This is my niece, Hana.
Hi.
And today we're going to show you how to make one of the blocks from the Perfect 5 Quilts book by It's So Emma. We're going to make the Frosted Cookie Quilt block. This is one of the patterns that uses 4 charm packs, and we're going to take you step by step. So this is called Sonnet Dusk. It's a Riley Blake Designs collection. I have 4 of these. They're really pretty. Hana, would you help me open them? And we are just going to sort through these fabrics to see which ones we're going to keep, which ones we're not going to keep. Each charm pack has 42 charms in it, and we want to keep the ones that are going to pop against the background fabric. And I've already cut out my background pieces. This is like a pale, like beige, but like with a touch of pink or orange. It's kind of hard to describe. I think the name of this was called Unicorn Poop, and it's a Tula pink solid. So very pretty, and it matches the flowers perfectly. So we need from each of these sets of 4. So this is going to make 1, 2, 3. Then we need a 4th one here. So Hana, if you could get 1 of these and just make that one happy family. We're going to keep this one because it is darker and it's not going to get lost in the background fabric. And then we'll set those 2 aside. So then here we have, so that was, we need 1 more of this one. These are pretty. They're kind of like leaves. Like maroon, close to purple. And this is 2. So we need another 2 here. Awesome. And this is that same design, but just in pink, which is really nice. This one needs another pair. You got it. So each clover has 4. And then, you know, while we are sorting these, this one, well, that's 6 now, so we can't do that. It's pretty easy to get confused. Each of these has 4. While we're sorting through these, we do want to just stop and take a moment and see, you know, which 8 do we not want to keep? So I'm thinking we don't keep this one. What do you think, Hana?
I don't think, because it could blend in with the background.
I completely agree. It would just get lost. What do you think about this one?
I think that one would also blend in because it has almost the same color.
Yeah, it is the same color as the background. I think so too. And then although this one is kind of similar in the background, it's got so much foliage to it, those plants in the dark green, it really brings it out. So let's take out these cream with the maroon polka dots and the moths on beige. Let's take those out completely. So these are going bye-bye. And we will keep these. These need another pair. This is 3. That pretty foliage needs 1 little friend. This is pretty. So these are those moths, or maybe they're butterflies. I'm not so sure. But you can see they're moths.
Yeah, again.
And it's just because it's on this like taupey gray that it's going to pop more. So we don't have to worry about that one getting lost. This one needs a pair. And so now this one is set. And so you can see what we're doing. We're just going through all of them. And I want to take the time to show you these fabrics while we finish sorting them off camera. See, those are the repeated leaves. Any fabric that you pick, especially if it's a collection that has really large motifs on it, like this really big, I think that's a mum, just really big images, is going to work great for this Frosted Cookie Quilt block because it showcases the fabric so much. There's no little pieces. I love this. dark fabric. This is really pretty too. And it's kind of tough now thinking about, well, what are we going to take out next, because the rest are going to work. I've taken out 4, so we'll decide which 4 we're going to take out. So more polka dots, and that's it. Here are all the units cut out. This is the stack that we decided not to keep. Some of them are repeats along with those colors that just blend in a little bit too much. So we're not missing out on any of the designs. So like, you know, the moths were a repeat, the polka dots were a repeat. This was a repeat in one shade and in another. So it's gonna be okay. I've got 32 total from all 4 charm packs. So 32 that will be going into my charm square basket, which is right here. And I love this basket because everything fits in perfectly. And all of these are charm squares from previous Perfect 5 quilt patterns that were just, you know, left over like this one's. And so I'm looking forward to making another scrappy quilt with these pre-cuts at some point. I already have the next quilt sort of planned out with which fabric collection that I'm going to be using. And that one's going to be more patriotic. So to make this quilt block, you're going to, of course, need 4 of the same ones. Let's just use this one here with the polka dots. And you're going to take your C units. I like to use diagonal seam tape to keep all of my corners and the stitch line going straight end to end. And you just tape this on your sewing machine. It's really handy. So I line up my edges. It's sort of like making a flying geese unit, except that our unit is, our initial unit is a square instead of a rectangle. And I'm just going to sew along the corners of all 4 of these. And so lately I have been having a lot of fun with family. I know it's, again, it always seems like it's just been a while in between each of my videos, but I do have a really good reason. So these last 2 weeks I've been vacationing with family, and we went to Disney World. It was my son's first time at Disney World, and he had a blast. He has a favorite princess now, and I think it's partly because at Disney World, they're like really pushing Elsa and the princess in the green dress, Tiana, I think is her name. And so all the while he was like, I have ice powers. And he would like shoot his hands out. I'm like, oh, wow, you're so strong. He's just started repeating some of the encouraging words that you hear at Disney World. Like, I'm brave, Mommy. You're brave too. Like, yeah, we're all brave. And so he had a blast. We also took half a day to go shop hopping, and we visited 2 different quilt shops. And yes, we also visited a restaurant here or there. It was a lot of fun. My niece is sitting right next to me, and the camera's not on her, so that y'all might not be able to hear her. But I just wanted to share some of the goodies that I bought. So this is a Maywood Studio Jelly Roll. It's called Star Spangled Beauty by Kimberbell. And I bought this at Inspired Quilting. I will be making a video of their shop, beautiful shop. And I bought this because they had an entire corner filled with patriotic quilts. And they had like a 20 or 30% off sale on all of their patriotic fabrics. So that was fabulous. And I also got a little bit of the new A Bloom collection by Corri of Coriander Quilts. So I got a mini charm square. No, I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but you know, I just had to have some. And I bought 4 fat quarters to go along with this. And they all coordinate really well. So that's a little kit for something on its own. And then of course, I can't remember what town is. I'll make sure to put it down in the links in the description below, but and the link to the shop. But the city that Inspired Quilting shop is in is known for strawberries. And look at this darling strawberry. So it's got a little ring on it, so I can add it to something. and just like dangle. So cute. And my mom bought one for herself too. She even bought herself a little kit. So we'll be sewing together. The next steps that you need to take for this unit is to cut a 1/4 inch away from your stitches here and then press them. I am going to press them to the dark side, and then we'll repeat the process. Now these units are pressed. You can see that I cut a 1/4 inch away and they're pressed towards the dark side. We're adding the square C unit on the other side, and we're just repeating that same process. My nephew, who was here, said that these Frosted Cookie Quilt blocks look like 4-leaf clovers, and it's like, they sure do. And he was such a great little helper, helping me put the few that I had made up on the wall for me. And he was like, call me when you're ready for me. It's like, okay, I'll call you. So after we visited 2 quilt shops, they were Inspired Quilting and then Fabric Warehouse. We were 1.2 miles away from this quilt shop that I really, really wanted to visit. I think it was called like Rainbow Quilting. And it was either go shopping one more time and leave everyone torturing in the car. Only my niece went with me inside because her and I are working on a quilt for her mom, my sister-in-law, and so she went with me to both quilt shops. And so I decided, you know what, we're just not gonna go into anymore. I know I really wanted to do that. Plus, there was some more fabric that I wanted that at Inspired Quilting and Sewing. They were like, oh, this other fabric you're looking for, we used to have it, we don't, but the Quilted Twins, which is another fabric store, they have a lot of it. And so I went on their website and I bought it, and sure enough, they had everything that I was looking for. So here are some of the things that I bought. These are from Inspired Quilting, and they had a good selection of Lori Holt fabric. Really pretty, and I'm working on increasing my background stash of shades of white and creams. So there's no use for these right now, but I'm always like, I need background fabric, and I don't have any. I need low volumes, and I don't have any. So I bought those there. I also bought this beautiful panel that I'm in love with. I'll open it for you at the end. And some of these I bought there and some I bought at Fabric Warehouse. But these, so exciting, are their line from the All Fabric Shop Hop, Florida. And I knew that, some states like Tennessee had it, the All Fabric Shop Hop. I did not know Florida had one. And well, I was born in Florida, and so you can just understand my excitement. I was like, oh my God, y'all have your own fabrics. And it says Florida on the selvage too. I think it does. Yep, right there. All Florida Shop Hop 2025. And so I didn't buy every single fabric in the line. That would be crazy. And I'm not that crazy, crazy addicted to fabric. But I did, get what I needed online. This is another panel. And then at Fabric Warehouse, I found more background fabrics. And so these were just random ones. I don't even remember what the designer was. I think all I found was 3, but they all work really nice together. I found this, which is, it may be a Corri or Bonnie and Camille, I don't know. But I know that I have it's Sunday Stroll by Bonnie and Camille of Moda. I know I have a layer cake of this. And so I bought enough fabric because guess what? It was on clearance. And I was like, score, to make the entire quilt. So I've got the quilt backing now for that future quilt. And then I have oranges, and this looks like stickers or stamps. This one does too. And this was nothing but palm trees, blue leaves. So that's what I got at the shops in person quite a bit. It really was so exciting to visit and find out that Florida has their own fabrics. I don't know what made me think that they wouldn't, or it just never occurred to me. And then online, I got a Quilted Twins. So here's their information. So you can pause the screen to see their Facebook. And here's the front. So I bought their Shop Hop label, Quilt Till You Wilt. And then I also bought the most expensive sticker ever for $5, and it was on discount. Here is the fabric that I got from them. A panel. And then these are just like those sort of kind of like wooden, more textured look. Green, whatever this color is, and that tan. So, yep, I am ready to make myself a Florida themed quilt. And back to the Frosted Cookie block. We're going to now cut a 1/4 inch away from here, press to the dark, and then I'll show you how to rearrange them so that you get that clover look. Thank you so much, Hana, for pressing these for me.
You're welcome.
And you can see that they're all perfect. And the way that we want to lay them out is the top left one is facing up. So think of like these as flying geese, they're facing up. And then this one's to the right, which is my right. And you're gonna do that twice. When we rotate one of them, you'll see that it makes sense. So I've got these here, and I'm going to match end to end, and you'll see that I didn't even cut off the perforated edges because they really just don't bother me. I would rather, sew them into the seam than spend a lot longer trimming them away. So do the second one. And lay them like this. And so I have 2 of these, right? What you do is flip this one over. And now you've got this one facing towards you and this one facing to the left. I press the seam towards the charm on both sides so that I can nest. And I mean the charm that has like no cuts and no seams in it, right? I can nest those seams here and add a pin. Would you pass me a pin, please? A pin, P-I-N. Thank pen. I know, they sound almost exactly alike. Thank you. So I've got just one right there. And this is the last seam. So it's super fast, super easy. This is a great beginner quilt pattern. If you have the diagonal seam tape, if you don't, drawing those lines, I think I could envision anybody who's starting out just getting really frustrated with having to do so many. I mean, you can see like this is just one of the stacks so that it wouldn't tumble over. It's quite a bit. No one wants to draw all those lines. I would think that no one wants to draw so many lines to get a straight diagonal stitch. Okay. Trim this away. And now, ta-da! Here is our beautiful quilt block. So we're going to press this open. I like to pop the seams, and the way that you pop the seams is you take one side and the other and you just pull them open, and you can see that 1 or 2 stitches was popped right in there in that intersection. And so this is gonna allow me to prevent any bulkiness in the quilt because we've got several layers of fabric meeting up right there. And then I just sort of press these and they're going in a spiral, just like that. Okay, and we'll take a closer look at these and some more at the table. Here is Hana's pressing job. Didn't she do a fabulous job? Looks so great. This is the finished block. So it's cute. Like I said, it'll look great with any fabric collection, especially fabrics with just big images all over it. And I wanted to show you some more that I finished. So this one's got like a leaf design on it. Really pretty moths. Here's another one with moths. So pretty. And Hana tells me, oh, my sister Rika is going to be so jealous when she finds out that I was on Aunt's YouTube channel. Go ahead and show. Isn't that beautiful? So my niece Hana is staying with me for about a month this summer, which is fantastic because my son has someone to play with and I have someone to sew with. Beautiful. These two here are the same, just different colors. And speaking of my oldest niece, Rika, she started this quilt with me behind us. And this quilt pattern is a quilt pattern that, hold on, I'll pull it somewhere. I have the name of the pattern somewhere, but I think it's called like the Child, if you want to find it on Etsy, the Child's Space Wizard quilt pattern, something like that. And so we're all Star Wars fans and Mandalorian, especially my brother, especially her dad. We love Mandalorian and Baby Yoda, Grogu. And so Rika picked out this quilt pattern because she wanted to make a quilt for, at the time, the littlest of our nieces and nephews, their cousins, Ronan. And so Ronan just turned 2, and Rika and I started the quilt. Here it is. And Hana and I finished it. So they did about half and half. So let's, do you want to talk about the quilt pattern?
So up at the top, we put it kind of like a space blue with sparkles right here. And then for the other color, we put most likely a sky blue, more like a little bit of glitter. And then for the background, we put it as space theme because Grogu, or Baby Yoda, he is kind of an alien. So Rika, my sister, she decided to put it in space. Then for the top, we put it also at the space. Not this, but above it. And then the same thing goes for the bottom. So then me and my sister, Rika, we decided we could take turns about doing the same thing, doing the same quilt. And then
now we're going to be working on your mom's, right?
Yeah, we're going to be working on my mom's.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Hana. So I am very blessed to have a total of 7 nieces and nephews. So some are a great introduction to sewing age and some not yet, but we'll be getting there. So we have behind this actually the quilt that Hana and I started with the fabrics that we purchased from Florida. So Hana helped me take this down. And I couldn't find the author of the Space Wizard pattern, but I'll make sure to put it in the description box below. And so this is actually what we started 2 days ago, and we finished today. Isn't that so pretty? And Hana has such a great sense of color. She picked out the pink and the orange, and then this has like some seagulls on it. And my sister-in-law, her mom really loves dolphins. And believe it or not, it was actually kind of hard to find like an all dolphin panel in Florida, even online. And so we found this one. Here, would you take this? Mm-hmm. We found this one. It has a dolphin, and then it's got some other squares to add dolphins to it. So we'll be adding those. And before we end our show today, I wanted to show you the 2 panels that I bought. These are going to be for me. Okay, could you hold this up?
Yep.
Okay, all right. So this is the 2025 All Shop fabric, and the Quilt Shop had this last one left. And this one here is the 2024 Florida All Shop fabric, and that was also the last one left. So that's a sign. So I love this. I don't know how I'm gonna make, you know, there are some patterns, just like with the Texas All Shop Hop. But so that's one. We can just pin that up there. And then here is the other panel. You get that corner. Wonderful. Yeah, so there's got all kinds of animals that you can find in Florida. Some kind of lion, yeah. Alligator, shark, dolphins, roosters, horses, sea turtles, just dolphins, well, yeah, something, oranges, you know, just everything. And so, and turtles. And so whatever these are called, manatees, walruses, I think they're, I don't know. They're animals. They're all animals. They're all beautiful animals, and I love the shades of color. So I hope you all enjoyed quilting with us today, and next time I'll be showing you how to put your quilt blocks all together to finish that quilt top. Remember to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!